Football star Cedric Benson in trouble with the law again. Benson arrested early this morning, accused of assaulting a former roommate.
Cedric Benson's life off the field was as chaotic as his career on it. His name constantly made headlines for all the wrong reasons. From driving while intoxicated to resisting arrest, Benson seemed to find trouble wherever he went. His wild behavior didn't stop there. He once got into a fight with a bartender and even assaulted a family member. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe. Before the 2008 season kicked off, Cedric Benson found himself in serious trouble. On May 3rd, 2008, he was arrested for allegedly operating a boat while intoxicated and resisting arrest near Austin, Texas, during a routine safety inspection by the Lower Colorado River Authority. According to the official police report, Benson failed a field sobriety test and then became aggressive with the officers, leading to his arrest. When he resisted, the police used pepper spray to subdue him. He spent the night in jail and was charged with boating while intoxicated and resisting arrest. Benson, however, denied the accusations. He claimed he had asked to take another sobriety test on land after failing the first one and accused the officers of using unnecessary force. According to Benson, "I wasn't handcuffed or under arrest, I wasn't a threat, and yet the officer sprayed me right in the eyes." He also claimed that the police hit his ankles and feet to prevent him from walking properly. A woman who was with Benson on the boat backed up his story, saying she saw the alleged abuse. Upon hearing about the incident, Bears head coach Lovie Smith expressed his disappointment, saying, "Anytime one of our players gets arrested, it's disappointing. We need to gather more information before moving forward." A month later, on June 7th, 2008, Benson was arrested again, this time for driving while intoxicated in Austin, Texas. Police said that Benson ran a red light and failed another field sobriety test. According to the police, Benson refused to take a breath or blood test to check his blood alcohol level. He was arrested again, but later released on bond. Benson denied the charges, saying he had aced the sobriety test and insisted he wasn't intoxicated. This second arrest was the final straw for the Chicago Bears. General manager Jerry Angelo expressed his disappointment, stating, "It's unfortunate. We've used the word disappointed too often when talking about Cedric." The next day, Benson was released from the team. Angelo made it clear, saying, "Cedric showed a pattern of behavior we just can't accept. Everyone is responsible for protecting their job. Cedric didn't do that." After his arrest, a judge ordered Benson to install a breathalyzer device in his car and attend drug counseling. However, in September of that year, Benson was cleared of all charges after appearing before 2 grand juries in Travis County. Despite being cleared, the damage had been done, and his release from the Bears had already cost him his place in the NFL at that point. More troubles started pouring in.
Cedric Benson was headed for a trial, but once the jury was selected, the attorneys reached a last-second plea deal. Almost a half hour after the opening arguments.
On June 29, 2010, Benson found himself in more legal trouble when he was arrested for assault with injury. This time, it was reported that Benson had punched a bartender in the face during an altercation. Despite the seriousness of the charges, Benson denied any wrongdoing, and after nearly a month of waiting, the NFL announced that they would not be suspending him for the incident. However, his legal troubles didn't end there. On July 17th, 2011, Benson was arrested once again, this time for assaulting a family member in Austin. The misdemeanor charge of assault causing bodily injury led to a sentence of 20 days in jail and a $4,000 fine. Yet, Benson only ended up serving 5 days of his sentence, being released from jail on September 3rd. The NFL didn't let this slide, and Benson received a 1-game suspension, which took effect in Week 8 of the season. Fast forward to February 18, 2017, and Benson was back in the headlines. This time, he was charged with driving while intoxicated in downtown Austin. According to court documents, Benson refused to take a field sobriety test. He also struggled when asked to recite the alphabet from G to Z and couldn't count past the number 3. After being arrested, Benson posted bond and was released later that same day. His legal troubles seemed to follow him throughout his career, overshadowing many of his on-field accomplishments. His NFL career, too, was filled with unexpected twists. Benson was selected by the Chicago Bears as the 4th overall pick in the 2005 NFL Draft, a moment of joy for him and his family. However, he faced significant challenges from the start, including a 36-day contract holdout over disagreements with the team. He eventually signed a 5-year deal worth $35 million. His absence from training camp led to a frosty welcome from teammates, especially when he boldly claimed he would become the starter by the 3rd game. In his rookie season, Thomas Jones took over as the featured running back, while Benson had limited playing time due to a knee injury. The following year, after a shoulder injury during practice, Benson continued to struggle for playing time. However, he started to find his rhythm in the 2006 season, scoring his first touchdowns and performing well in key games, including the playoffs. After the Bears traded Jones, Benson became the starting running back, but faced inconsistency on the field. Despite a few strong performances, he was released by the Bears in June 2008, following 2 alcohol-related arrests within weeks. Later in October 2009, he revealed he had been diagnosed with celiac disease shortly before his release, shedding light on some of his struggles. After a grand jury chose not to indict Benson on 2 incidents in Austin, he signed a 1-year, $520,000 contract with the Cincinnati Bengals on September 30th, 2008. With Dede Dorsey on injured reserve and Chris Perry starting, Benson's season began with a loss to the Dallas Cowboys, where he rushed 10 times for just 30 yards. However, he became the starting back in Week 7 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he rushed 14 times for 52 konso. His best performances came later in the season. He rushed for 161 yards from scrimmage against the Washington Redskins and 171 yards against the Cleveland Browns. By the end of the season, Benson had a total of 932 yards from scrimmage in just 12 games, with 747 rushing yards and 185 receiving yards. After the 2008 season, Benson became a free agent and signed a 2-year, $7 million contract to stay with the Bengals on March 3, 2009. By Week 8 of the 2009 season, he had rushed for an impressive 720 yards, leading the NFL at that point. In Week 5, he made headlines by becoming the first player to rush for over 100 yards against the Baltimore Ravens in 40 games, and in Week 7, he rushed for a career-high 189 yards and a touchdown against the Chicago Bears. Benson finished the 2009 season with his first 1,000-yard rushing season, becoming the Bengals franchise record holder with 6 games over 100 rushing yards. He ranked 8th in the NFL with 1,251 rushing yards, despite only playing 13 games. He even set a Bengals postseason record with 169 rushing yards in a playoff loss to the New York Jets. However, the Bengals decided not to re-sign him in 2012. Coach Marvin Lewis explained that it wasn't Benson's skills on the field that concerned him, but his attitude. On August 12, 2012, Benson signed a 1-year contract worth $825,000 with the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, on October 7, 2012, he suffered a Lisfranc injury to his foot, leading to his placement on injured reserve. On August 17, 2019, a tragic accident took place in Austin, Texas, claiming the lives of Benson and a female passenger named Amna Najam. The two were riding on Benson's motorcycle when it collided with a minivan on RM 22222. Sadly, both Benson and Najam were pronounced dead at the scene of the crash, leaving behind a community in shock and mourning.
Both Benson and the woman died at the scene. Cedric.
While the details surrounding the accident were devastating, it was noted that the 2 occupants of the minivan were fortunate enough to escape with only minor injuries. This incident marked a heartbreaking end to Benson's life, which had already seen its share of challenges and controversies. That is it for this one. But if you happen to like NFL legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel NFL Icons. I'm sure you will love it.